Hi, I'm Dr. Kimberly Manning. I'm a practicing internist in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to ACP's Physician-to-Physician Conversation Series. Today, we're going to talk about creating safe spaces for conversations without shame or judgment. So at Grady Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, we set up a table in the lobby of the hospital right next to where we do the vaccines. And it's called the No Judgement Zone. And we have a set of pro tips that we talk to people about, and they're not guided at telling people what to say to patients, but instead how to have the interaction. This is how it works. There's a table, there's a sign next to it that says, "Still unsure about being vaccinated? Let's talk about it." And at this table, as people walk through the lobby, sometimes they stop. Sometimes it's just as simple as me saying, "Hey, good morning, how are you doing this morning?" That leads to a little conversation. I'm able to ask if they've been vaccinated and if they have any questions. And from there, wow, the information that I've gotten that's helped people with their process of deliberation. The other neat piece is that oftentimes people mistake us for information. So they may come and ask where a clinic is or where the lab is, but that opens a door for us to talk about more, specifically the vaccine. And as one of the people leading the effort, I'm there probably about 1 or 2 hours when I do a shift, a couple times a week. But we have a wide variety of people pitching in to do this. And we're excited to say that this very same initiative has been rolled out at other institutions throughout the country, and we hope more will do it. One of my favorite experiences in the No Judgement Zone happened one day. Was sitting at the table. A family's walking by. It was a man, and there was a teenager with them. And I could hear that they were all speaking Spanish to one another. And the teenager, who spoke English, looked over at me and said, "Hey, my dad wants to know if he's going to turn magnetic after he gets this vaccine." And they all collectively laughed as she interpreted into Spanish the joke that she just made to me. And I sort of waved them over and I said, "Well, does your dad really believe that?" And she started laughing. She's like, "My dad believes everything." And she started laughing some more. But this teenager was old enough to be vaccinated at this point, right? So I asked, "Hey, have you been vaccinated?" She said, "Me? No, I'm a kid." I said, "Well, how old are you?" She was like, "In high school." I said, "Oh, you can be vaccinated. What about your parents? Have they been vaccinated?" And she looked at her parents and she said, "No, they haven't been vaccinated." This teenager was able to tell me that one of the biggest concerns that her family and people in their community have is that getting vaccinated, if you're an immigrant, could enter you in some sort of database that could do you harm in the future. That's a real, true, legitimate concern. And what I know for sure is in our system, that isn't true. So I was able to communicate that to them. I was able to call an interpreter to sit next to me and explain all of this to the family. And then together, we walked over, checked all 3 of them in, and then even went back over to get them vaccinated. And the very best part of that story is, do you know why they were at Grady Hospital? They were there because mom was pregnant. So not only did a mom and a dad and a teen get vaccinated, a pregnant mom got vaccinated and protected her unborn child, all just from the power of being in the right place at the right time and responding to a joke. It is okay if you have a colleague who right now just doesn't emotionally have the bandwidth to do this kind of work, because it does require a level of patience. And sometimes going into a clinical environment and hearing a patient push back against what you know is a life-saving intervention, it can lead us to say and do things that can shame our patients. Body language and facial expressions can shame patients, right? So something like a squinch of your eyes or a raised eyebrow or a tiny head shake, those are things that patients see. They aren't words, but they convey to your patient that maybe the thing that they believe, you might think that it's silly or dumb. COVID is a difficult time for a lot of us. I center on the long game. I say, what is the point in doing all of this? The point of this is to protect my community, to protect my patients. So we talk about how the virus spreads, but what if we were to take that same concept and apply it to empathy and factual information? So I like to believe that for every patient that I talk to, right, every patient that I provide new information that they didn't have before, they may go tell 5 to 8 people in their church or in their community. They may go into the barbershop and say, I met this doctor down in the emergency department and they said this. So us really recognizing that the words that we speak, these small interactions, they have impact beyond just the one person. They have the capacity to spread, and we just have to stay motivated enough to do that. Colleagues, I know that we are tired. I know that this has been going on for a long time, and some of us have even been impacted in our own families. We are trusted sources for our patients. Sometimes we're like family to them, and sometimes just that voice of reason that they need in a very difficult time. So even when it seems like a patient will never change their mind, don't let yourself stop from taking that step to have that conversation that could save that patient's life. Thank you for watching this ACP series on physician-to-physician conversations. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that you can be notified of new episodes of the Physician-to-Physician Conversations from ACP.